Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to build million-dollar businesses without sacrificing their health, relationships, or happiness, who understand that in order to build their empire, they need a solid foundation, and that the more they are thriving, the more their business is thriving too. This show brings you the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist turned mindset and high-performance coach for entrepreneurs, and I help you get wired for success. Before we jump into today's fascinating episode, I want to talk about something equally fascinating and crucial for our mental well-being, our brain health. We often talk about physical fitness, but what about the fitness of our brains? How do you get wired for success? Well, that's where a tool like neurofeedback can be super helpful. Imagine being able to see your brain's activity and health improve in real time. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, I know, but with the Mandy device, it's becoming a reality. It uses cutting-edge technology to help you exercise one of your most important muscles, your brain. So how does it work? It uses a technology called functional near-infrared spectroscopy to measure blood flow in your prefrontal cortex. That's the area of the brain that is key to functions like focus, decision-making, and emotion regulation. When you wear the Mandy headband, it captures the blood flow dynamics in this region of your brain, mirroring the ongoing brain activity. I've been using Mandy for a while now, and one thing that stands out to me is how much your current state and mood affects your results. It's kind of obvious when you think about it, but it's also really eye-opening to see how different states affect your brain's performance in real time. What's so compelling about Mandy is that it's backed by experts in the field of neuroscience, and I just love that it offers a way to take proactive steps toward better brain health. With its help, you can train your brain much like you might train your body. So when you lift weights, for example, you see your muscles grow, so you know your training is effective. You don't usually get that kind of visual feedback when you train your brain, right? It's a black box and you don't really know if what you're doing is making a difference or not. And that's where Mandy comes in, because it makes the exercise tangible by turning your neural activity into something that you can visualize and interact with so that you can actually see your progress. The more you train, the stronger those neural pathways become, leading to lasting improvements in mental resilience and cognitive performance. Thinking about brain health in this way really shifts our perspective on what it means to stay fit. It's not just about running or lifting weights. It's also about keeping our minds sharp and responsive. So if you're curious about how you can start this kind of training, Mandy is a great option that brings sophisticated technology into an accessible format. To learn more and to get your own Mandy, head over to mandy.io. If you want to get wired for success, it's crucial to remember that our brains are at the core of everything we do. So again, if you would like to experience neurofeedback for yourself, head over to mandy.io. Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Wired for Success podcast, where we talk about all things science, self-development, and entrepreneurship that help you get to that next level of success in your life and business. My guest today is Adam Pisk, the remote work specialist who co-founded BruntWork, a rapidly evolving remote-only outsourcing enterprise that brings in an impressive $5 million monthly recurring revenue. Now, that's not a small feat, and I cannot wait to hear more about this. So welcome, Adam, and thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you, Claudia. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Adam, what's your origin story? Why did you decide to build this business?
So this business, like another sort of examples, COVID, obviously a terrible time. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of businesses, they really suffered through it. And I had a number of businesses that did really suffer. I had cafes, which were very badly hit by it. And also we had another tech business, which in Australia was a marketplace that if you needed a plumber or an electrician or a contractor, you'd go into our website and we'd match you and find you contractors or people to do that job. And obviously with COVID, that meant that business didn't, basically couldn't operate over that period. Now, the challenge for us is that at that time we had 60 staff that were working for us. And what do? 60 staff working for us, they were working in the Philippines for that business. And in the Philippines, it's not that the government was handing out grants of money to live. If you weren't working, you might get a sack of rice to survive. So it became an ethical challenge for us to go, okay, we have all this staff that worked for us for years. They're extremely loyal. How do we create an opportunity to keep them employed? And that was the motivation at the time. And so that then stemmed to the idea of, we've got 60 great people. What companies could we approach that are struggling under the restrictions from COVID, and how can we utilize our staff to transform their businesses to succeed under lockdowns, etc. And the first company we went to was a supermarket chain that was a large one in Australia, but didn't have any online delivery, didn't have any online ordering. And obviously they had a problem with COVID where people then couldn't come to their store. So we said, well, we've got developers, we've got customer support, we know about logistics. Why don't we, in 2 weeks, build your online supermarket, organize your logistics, organize your customer support, and get you into a position where you can continue trading and give our staff a job. And we still have that client now. And that then started the BruntWork journey.
I love how you took a challenge and turned it into an opportunity and a win-win situation for everyone around you. So congrats on that. Now, for everyone who's not familiar with your business yet, I mean, you explained how it started, but can you explain your business model? Like, what has it evolved into?
Okay, so what we really specialize in is, let's say, global employment. So the idea really is that instead of saying, hey, I need this person for my role, I only need to look in the city, the small area in Bavaria in Germany to find someone, or in a small town in the US, or that's the only locality I have to find the best people. What we do, we're in 12 countries globally, is where we have staff and growing. We basically say, whatever role you need, let's look for the best people globally to do the role that you're looking for. And it's not so much, there's obviously, we're in the developing world, so there's cost efficiencies in hiring from the developing world, but there's a huge amount of talent. So if you need a role that doesn't need to sit in an office with you or on a building site or doing plumbing or something physical, they can work behind a computer. We basically say, why don't we just expand your reach to the best person globally for this job, rather than just looking within a local area? And that's really what we specialize in.
It makes total sense to me. Now, 5 million monthly recurring revenue, if I read that correctly, sounds incredible. What did it take to build such a huge business?
That's an old stat, actually. We've grown significantly since then. Yeah, that's an and look, the way it was done also hasn't been with any external debt, hasn't been with we haven't raised money, we haven't brought in any equity or debt. So it's been a story where if you have something that people need and can see the value from, then there's a lot of growth seems to happen. And obviously getting good people to do roles that companies need is also this total win-win, in the sense that the companies getting and hiring people to do roles are getting great people at great value and getting often jobs better done than if they were doing it locally, or roles where they can't find people locally to do it. Accounting is a very good example. You want to go and hire an accountant, you can't find one locally in Germany, where like accounting firms would love to hire locally if they could. But it's a multiplier effect also for the staff, in the sense that when you help someone when you hire someone from the developing world, the money extends to a lot more than just that immediate person. In Germany or Australia or the US, when you employ someone, you're supporting their immediate family. Generally, in the developing world, you're generally supporting like a village. It's them, it's their cousins, their families of 5, the grandparents that they're supporting. So you have this multiplier effect where you're employing one person, but you're helping a lot of other people. And therefore, as well, they've got such a motivation to keep the job and do well, because they're helping a whole lot of people within their extended family network and where they live as well. So you see your money go well in terms of the businesses. They get a great return, and with the staff, they get a great opportunity.
You're really making an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it. And you see it. We have about 700 reviews on Glassdoor from agents that work from us. And it's very obvious there that the opportunities that they get to work with international companies and get paid a reasonable wage really just changes their lives, literally changes their lives and others around them. So it is an impact.
I bet you're having a huge impact there. But what did your sales and marketing strategies look like to expand your business so quickly over the past 3 to 4 years? I mean, how did you do it?
Yeah. So look, initially when you start a business, our first client, as I said, was a supermarket chain. That went well. We then went to a similar company that had 1,100 retail stores in shopping centers at that time, so fashion brands. But at that time during COVID, no one could go to shopping centers. They had a similar challenge. They needed an online strategy. They needed customer support. They needed logistics. So we replicated the same thing that we did with the supermarket with them. And then once you did that, sort of within the corporate world in Australia, word got out and we started to build organically in the beginning. And you build organically, and then you get to a stage where you go, I've got a business model and I've got enough infrastructure. We're doing this just for a small market in Australia. We should give this opportunity globally. And then the marketing engine kicks in once you've done that. The good thing for us is, unlike a lot of people like in the SaaS world or product, where you really have to push people to say, here's my product and here's how it could really benefit you. With us, we've done zero outbound marketing. What I mean by that is we do run marketing in terms of AdWords, etc., but every single lead, we do no outbound sales, I should say. All our marketing generates inbound leads because people say, yes, I'm looking for this type of role. And sure, if I could pay 70% less for someone probably more qualified, and we do it, we recruit for free, lower cost, there's no obligation until we find you what you're looking for. There's no real downside to not try it. And that then people buy in, and then the obligation is on us to get you exactly what you're looking for. And that then means you scale. At the moment, we hire about 600 people a month. So just to give you an idea, of scale and growth, 600 people a month.
Oh, that's crazy. Let's talk about some of the challenges that you encountered along the way. So was it more difficult to get the business off the ground or to scale it? And which specific challenges did you encounter during those phases, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so there's always a lot of challenges in a growing business, and you could identify. One of the biggest ones that is important for us, and I think it really identifies with the message of what your podcast is about, is that it's not just a matter to get someone a job and get them a role. It's more for us that when you go to work every day, you've got to like what you do, and you've got to be respected in what you do. And one of the challenges that we had, particularly earlier on, is companies that would say, I'm in this just for the cost arbitrage, and I'm not bringing on this person as part of my business. I'm going to treat them as a number and not with the right ethics, etc., that we feel very important. That's very important to us. Our company motto is that we want to improve the economic opportunity of the people that work for us and companies that we work with, but simultaneously. So if you take on our staff and you don't treat them like people, and there are companies that would treat staff like a product, then that doesn't sit well with us. And that's a challenge. We ended up at one stage, one of the real challenges that we had was early on, our largest client, which represented 40% of our total revenue as we were growing, had that attitude with our staff and had over 250 staff with us. And we terminated them. at that point, which was losing 40% of your revenue. And then you have the challenge that you have 250 people that you have to find another job. And that's not easy. But this client just couldn't get their heads around that these are people. And in order to get the best result, you've got to deal with people as people. And so we terminated that. That was challenging.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's sad to hear that some companies feel entitled to treat other people like product instead of people.
Yeah.
That's sad. And I mean, it's really important to stick to your values. And if that's not aligned with the values of your company, then it's probably best to let that client go, even if it's hard at the time. But if you could go back in time, are there any decisions you remember that you regret or that you would change if you had the chance to do them over?
Sure. Look, we fell into this business out of necessity through COVID. So we were used to outsourcing ourselves as a company, but we weren't used to running an outsourcing business in multiple countries around the world. So we're figuring everything out as we go. And that's a positive in the sense that we don't have the view of you should always do something because we've always done it that way. But at the same time, you're constantly experimenting with things. And some things work and some things just don't work. And that happens every day in that sense. There's certain countries that we might enter with certain expectations, and that hasn't necessarily worked out, or certain roles or certain clients that we've brought on, different parts of our organization that we've tried to scale and hasn't quite worked. Look, as you're trying to scale the way that we are with the numbers, it is a lot of what we do now is mitigated by some great technology that we've developed in terms of being smarter about what we do. AI is very much a huge part of our business, almost in every single function. We're to give you a sense of scale, like we get about 18,000 resumes a month. We hire about 600 people. You can't do that without the right investment in technology. And we recruit for free. So if you wanted a podcast editor, let's say, and we didn't get you the right match, you terminate them. We've spent all the money on recruiting that person, and sure, you spend a little bit of time with them, but the real cost has come from us. So that matching of the right person to the right company sounds simple, but is complex to do well. And in the beginning, before that technology, we probably made a lot of mistakes in that and learned a lot of lessons along the way. But we're getting better and better at that, and that's how we're growing.
So you're using AI to match people. Is that how you use it mainly?
We use AI in every step of our business and invested in it very heavily for the last year and a half, 2 years, really, since its inception, continue to. So from our sales process to our customer success process, we have engines that run in the background. For us, it's about what are the reasons why someone is successful with a company. And if we can track that and do it at scale over time, what are the attributes of that? What are the attributes? If this is the type of company, this type of size, this type of industry, this type of person, what type of agent or staff member would do best long-term in that type of role in terms of skill sets, etc., aptitude testing. And so that is an AI that runs through from your initial sales engagement to your interviews, to recruiting, to if something goes wrong, to ongoing customer success. So a lot of AI engines are working in the background to do that, to make that process. And again, there's 3,500 competitors that we have. The difference that we have to make is that we are better at finding people that are suitable to you than anyone else. That's sort of our point of difference, right?
Interesting. So it's a lot of pattern recognition.
Correct.
And,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You talked about scaling, and rapid growth might sound like a dream come true to most aspiring entrepreneurs, but I bet handling the demands of such a rapidly growing business isn't always easy. Do you have any other advice for entrepreneurs out there how to handle rapid growth?
Yeah, the key the challenge with rapid growth, and we could be more rapid. The market size for what we do is huge. So we could spend more money, and with an ROI expand faster. The challenge when you're expanding quickly is you have to ensure the quality of what you're doing. And I'm not just talking about the quality of the product. I'm talking about the people that represent you. And the handbrake for us, where we made mistakes, you talked about mistakes before, mistakes that you make is you've got so much demand for people that want to work with you that you end up hiring people that you're hiring because you just need people rather than people that fit your values, vision, skills, etc. And so one of the constant challenges is we cannot compromise on our core values. That's just too much of a short-term gain. And the handbrake to scaling faster is finding people within our internal team that are at the standard that we want to hire. And that's one of the real challenges is you build up such a great brand. It's very easy by hiring the wrong people to bring toxic culture in. And we're a totally remote business. So we have 0 offices anywhere in the world. We have, almost 5,000 people that work remotely, totally remotely. And coordinating that has a lot of challenges in terms of scaling. And it's very easy when you talk about online and social media trolling, whatever, the same type of thing can happen in a remote workplace. So those type of things we've got to be very conscious of.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I always say that entrepreneurship is kind of like the biggest self-development journey that you can be on because it forces you to face your fears. So what did you find most challenging on a personal level?
Look, on a personal level, we're in the people business. And not only is our business is people, but that's what we sell and that's what we do. And the easiest businesses that I've run, no business is easy, but when you have a product or a widget, you don't need to worry about, like, once you've done the sale and you've sold a product, the product does what the product's meant to do. Our product is a person. And a person never, like, you talk about all the data and the pattern recognition was the term you used before, but a person is a person and it could be unpredictable at the same time as well. So, this is people upon people. And the key thing that have to continue to learn is how to manage people well and how to manage people within the world that we're living now within 2024, where you've got such fast technological change, particularly AI, etc., and navigating that to make sure that we're ahead of the curve and that our staff are invested and excited about those opportunities rather than scared the new world is going to replace everyone.
Yeah, I think you probably have to have some great communication skills to make it work with like communicating with all those people and building a great team. Now, one last question for you today. What daily success habits have you developed that allow you to stay happy, healthy, and productive so that you avoid burnout?
Yeah, I think it's important to have non-negotiables in what you do. And those non-negotiables, no matter about business, etc., if you don't do those non-negotiables, you have to have the realization that you will be less effective in business. For me, non-negotiables, I have to go to the gym 5 days a week as a minimum, if not 6, but minimum 5, non-negotiable. If I don't do that, I'm not in the right place. I'm in the gym. I have to spend the time with my kids when I'm at home. Today I picked them up from school, 2 hours, whatever, quality time with them, non-negotiable. My phone is not with me. I'm not compromising on that. In terms of quality of diet and food, etc., there's certain non-negotiables that I'll have there. So you've got to have you've got to structure your day that includes the things you need to do from a business perspective, but you have to have the realization that if you don't put in those non-negotiables that are for you, then you're not going to perform at the output and level that you really need to. And that's the time management factor that comes into this. So that's the advice I'd give on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. You have to build that structure around your non-negotiables because otherwise it's just not going to be sustainable in the long run.
Yeah. We're all workaholics when you're doing this and you're scaling. And I could sit in front of this computer without any issue for 18 hours a day and have stuff to do. And if you don't pull yourself away with that with the things that are actually what life is about, family and health, then that's all you become, is you're known for just the business, and that's not fulfilling.
No, it's not. And it's a slippery slope, and burnout
Correct.
is not a pretty thing. So
Correct.
where can people find you online if they would like to learn more about you or connect with you?
Sure. Website is bruntwork.co. Me personally, you can find me on LinkedIn at Adam Pisk, Pisk. You just search me on LinkedIn, you'll see that. Welcome to email me directly if you need any remote resources, any outsourced staff, adam@bruntwork.co, all those avenues.
Fantastic. Adam, thank you so much for sharing your tips and insights with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks, Claudia. It's been great. Thank you for having me.
Take care and talk soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show or share it with a friend. That way you can support the show and help me reach and support other entrepreneurs like yourself as well. If you would like my help to figure out how you can go from overwhelmed and overworked hustler to empowered and confident leader, check out my website at www.wiredforsuccess.solutions and book a free 20-minute strategy session with me. Can't wait to help you get wired for success. Until next time, take care. Bye.